With Episode 9 being the conclusion to the Skywalker saga and the sequel trilogy itself by writer and director J.J. Abrams, we do know that he will be doing a lot of things for this movie. This is Mike Zier here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, I wanted to focus in on the characters of Emperor Palpatine and Supreme Leader Snoke. We've been hearing more and more about these characters and their involvement in Star Wars Episode 9, quite possibly. Very intriguing stuff for sure. Now, we do know that both J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio will be using Episode 9 as a conduit in a sense of combining all Star Wars movies into one big final movie that will end the Skywalker saga and the sequel trilogy itself. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which specifically has all to do with a description of both Supreme Leader Snoke and Emperor Palpatine that could very well connect to something that did not make the final cut of The Last Jedi. So specifically, a description of Supreme Leader Snoke inside of his throne room. Very similar to the one in The Last Jedi, however one without the red curtains. Snoke is sitting on his throne with a device in his hand. A hologram is eventually displayed in front of Snoke. A hologram of Emperor Palpatine. Palpatine appears as he did from the original trilogy, more frail and old in appearance. The hologram of the Emperor has him pointing his finger with a cane. The next goes over the Palpatine hologram, switching over to a projection of the planet Jakku, or what appears to be Jakku, a desert world of importance to Palpatine that Snoke has learned about. This could either be in the form of a flashback or the return of Snoke in Episode 9. It's unclear. So I wanted to go over a couple of things here. Now, first things first, this takes us all the way back to one of the LEGO sets for The Last Jedi that didn't necessarily connect to what was going to be shown in the actual movie. You guys may remember one of the LEGO sets had Snoke with an Emperor Palpatine hologram, a part of the bundle package, and it left a lot of people wondering as to why that was included in a LEGO The Last Jedi set. And there were rumors that The Last Jedi was going to include the Emperor Palpatine hologram with Snoke. I guess that never made it to the final cut of the film. But with J.J. Abrams back, it seems as though that he is trying his very best to bring in multiple cameos into Episode 9 in order to create a lot of fan service, nostalgia, in order to really fill in the seats at the theaters for this final movie of the Skywalker saga. So with Emperor Palpatine's hologram projecting in front of Supreme Leader Snoke, is this a flashback? Is this, present day? We don't really know. We do know that Andy Serkis is apparently working on a top secret project right now for a motion capture sequence, which could be Snoke on the set of Episode 9. So very interesting stuff on that front. But looking at Episode 9, when it comes to Snoke and Emperor Palpatine, I will say this, is that if you guys read the Aftermath books, you do learn that there is this huge connection between both Snoke, Emperor Palpatine, and Jakku. Now, one thing about Jakku, I don't want to give away too many spoilers about the book in case you guys want to read that book, but there is a deep interest for Emperor Palpatine of the planet Jakku. There is something there, something very special. We never got the full story per se. We learned a little bit more about it, but we didn't get the full story about why Emperor Palpatine is so interested in Jakku. We also know that he felt a dark side presence from the unknown regions, that being Snoke. So these two characters have mentally connected once before in the past within the Star Wars universe. So that's what I love about the canon materials. You kind of just learn about these little facts here and there, and you can kind of see how it really fit into the puzzle when it comes to the Star Wars movies themselves. So with Episode 9 bringing a return of many different characters from the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, as much as J.J. Abrams is trying to do this in a very effectful way, I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to do it with substance, and that may be a hard thing to pull off. I think that there has to be meaning behind these cameos, whether it's Anakin, Obi-Wan, Emperor Palpatine, you name it. There's gotta be reason to it. Again, like I have always said, there is most definitely a reason as to why we heard Obi-Wan Kenobi's voice in The Force Awakens by JJ, when Obi-Wan says, Rey, you know, these are your first steps, or these are her first steps, he says something around those lines. Why would Obi-Wan say that? Why would he be talking about Rey? I feel like you can't just leave that unanswered. JJ has to answer that. And with all the descriptions that we have been hearing about these past couple of months, about Obi-Wan and his return in Episode 9, could it mean that Rey is indeed a descendant of the Kenobis? It's a possibility for sure. But looking at Palpatine, right, one of my all-time favorite characters in the Star Wars universe, mainly because he manipulates Kylo, or should I say Anakin Skywalker, into becoming Darth Vader, which hence inspires Ben Solo to become Kylo Ren. And that's what I love about Darth Vader, is that it doesn't necessarily all stem from Darth Vader. It also stems from Emperor Palpatine. I mean, his involvement in the Star Wars universe and the overall canon is astronomical if you really look at him. So his involvement with Supreme Leader Snoke in any way, shape, or form, to me, is honestly good in my book. You know, JJ apparently wants to bring him back. We've been hearing about Matt Smith portraying a younger version of the character. I don't know if you guys heard about that big story a couple of days ago, almost a week ago at this point. Huge story about Matt Smith quite possibly playing a younger version of Palpatine, which could hint that he's going to portray a clone version of the character, or maybe in the form of a flashback that could give us an idea of exactly how they're going to actually insert Darth Plagueis into Episode 9. We'll have to wait and see. But anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.